Hello, today's parable is the parable of the shrewd manager. This comes from Luke chapter 16, verses 1 through generally around 9 or so. Or the whole section is really verses 1 through 14. This is probably one of, if not the most misunderstood and confusing parables of the Bible. So there's a rich man who has a manager, and this manager is accused of wasting the possessions of the rich man. So what the rich man does is he's like, what did you do? What have you done? Give an account of yourself. But regardless, you're fired, right? So the manager's like, what am I going to do now? I don't want to beg. I don't want to work. But I can't starve. So he's like, I know what I'll do. When I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses. I know what I'll do so that, when I lose my job, people will welcome me into their houses. So what he does is he goes to the debtors of his master and cuts off what they owe him. Seemingly. Okay. So he goes up to one person. This person owes the master 900 gallons of olive oil. He says, take your bill, cut it in half, make it 450. The second person, he says, I owe my master 1,000 bushels of wheat. So he says, take your bill and make it 800. Then the master commended the dishonest manager because he acted shrewdly. So why would he do that? Is God here commending dishonesty? So what's happening here? So what might be happening here, possible explanation for this, is that back in the day, when a government, for example, would instate a tax collector to collect revenues for the state or for the country, whatever, the way those tax collectors would make money is that they would charge the people more than what the government asked them to collect. So, for example, if the government asked the tax collectors, hey, collect $50 from the people, and the tax collector's like, okay, I'm going to actually charge $60 so I can make a $10 profit. So he gives $50 to the state, and then takes 10 for himself. And this is why tax collectors are so frowned upon, because they, this is how they make money. So the dishonest manager is like, okay, you acted shrewdly, because not only am I getting what I still wanted, and the people you're requiring, less of the people to pay, because you're taking off your share, you're taking off your profit, you're shaving off that part. That might be what's happening here when the master is commending the dishonest manager for acting shrewdly. A second thing to take out of this parable is, for the people of this world, verse 8, second half of verse 8, for the people of the world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of the light. So in the same way that the people of this world, worldly people, sinful people, are shrewd in their sin, we also should be shrewd in spiritual things. Like they're shrewd in this world, so we should be shrewd in spiritual things. And we're not usually doing that as Christians. We're not using the gifts that God has given us for His glory, and we're not exploiting, but we're using to the full potential those gifts that God has given us. And whatnot. So verse 9, I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourself, so that when it is gone, you will be welcomed into earthly dwellings. So use the earthly wealth that you have, not for good, not for evil like the people of this world are doing, but use it for good, so that you will be eternally rewarded for how you use it as people of the light rather than people of the darkness.